Okay, once you have a slab of clay rolled out and you've reached uniform thickness, which means when you roll across it as hard as you can, it doesn't stretch anymore, then you want to make sure to check for air bubbles. You would see a bubble on the surface when you look at it, and I don't think I have any, but if I had some, I would need to pop those. Then what you're going to do, just to practice rolling the slab and to have a clay piece from your stamp that you made previously, is you're going to set your stamp on top of your clay piece, and then you're going to take your rolling pin and you're just going to start to gently roll that into the surface of the clay. Now I have to roll hard enough that it's going to leave a print, but I don't want to press so hard that it cuts through the clay entirely. So I'm just going to kind of peel this back just a little bit to see if it made a print, and it didn't really print this corner, so I'm going to re-roll that corner, push a little harder. I'm going to kind of do that on all four corners, and then I'm going to peel it back, and that did make a nice print. So now what I'm going to do is take my fettling knife, and I am just going to cut along the sides of this. So I'm going to stand my knife up tall, and then I'm going to let it drag across the tabletop, and I'm going to cut out all four sides. And this practice slab of clay, I will fire for you, and then you can have this piece to take home. And what you can do with this is we can end up painting this after it's fired, but if you envision it to become a Christmas ornament, for example, what you would want to do is take a needle tool and poke a hole in it where you imagine it to hang. So I want to look at this and decide which way do I want it hang if it's going to become a Christmas ornament, because you'll have this in time for Christmas. So I could put it in the middle and it could hang that way. I might hang it like a diamond shape. So I'm going to put my hole in this corner, and when you press through the clay, be very careful that you're not stabbing your hand underneath. So my fingers are not close to where that hole is going to be, so when I poke the hole, I'm not poking my finger. And then I'm just going to kind of wiggle that slightly so that it opens a little bit wider, because I need to be able to get an ornament hook through there. Another option would be not to put a hole in it, and I can give you a magnet, and we can glue a magnet on the back of it if you just want it to become a magnet. So that's what I want you to do with your stamp on your practice slab of clay. If you have time, you could re-wedge this clay and then roll it out again and see what you can fit on that next slab of clay. It might not be big enough to fit your entire stamp, and that's okay if some of the stamp goes off the clay, because these are just kind of extra things for fun, just to practice rolling out slabs of clay. Okay, so I'm going to check for air bubbles. I don't see any in that one either, and this one is actually going to fit an entire second one. I'm just going to roll that out. Okay, once you have got your pieces cut and rolled out, I also have to know whose piece of clay this is. So you want to gently turn that over and hold it in your non-dominant hand. Then you're going to use an ink pen to carve your name in the bottom. I'm not using the ink pen to see the ink, but instead I'm using it as a carving tool to carve my name across the bottom, so that way I know whose project this is.